So I'll give you a kind of idea of what I have. I don't want to call it a tour because I'm going to talk about certain sections. But when I do a tour, I just talk about what's in here. I cannot talk about certain sections all the time with the tour, so this is going to be kind of like a divided sections kind of a video. Because I do want to get into toys a little bit. I started putting toys up here. Ones I had from the other room, I moved them here. We have 2 rooms of media, by the way, and I started building shelving for the other room, and these were there, so I moved them here. And with the toys, that's what I want to do, stand them on top, and they'll look nice that way. Gonna get into some wrestling, some comics will come. I'll go to the flea market from time to time, and they're good VHS here. Universal Monsters, Godzilla, some box sets. A little bit of horror on VHS, most of it's on DVD. And then here's a little bit divided like a video store with the VHS. I have the karate section, the sci-fi section, the Disney section, comedy and mixed with adventure. And then Western is over here in the corner, a little bit mixture of comedy as well. So later on I'm going to get more into toys. It'll take a year or 2 before I really notice a change. But I do want to get at least 1 or 2 comic book figures over here. I already started getting into toys with Wonder Woman this year. Get a couple more comic book figures here. Maybe Batman section over here since I have the car. So that's going to be the plan. Just get those little figures set up. But they're considered vintage and they're more expensive, so I can't do a toy plus I can't do my movies at the same time. So it's going to be one or the other when it comes to collecting, and I don't want to just collect on one thing. I do want to be on toys all year for the rest of the year, so once in a while I will break from toys, I will come into my games, or once in a while I'll come to something from music. Music's been part of me since high school. Got 3 shelves of music. Rebuilt this shelf here over the winter. So, once in a while if I go thrifting, I'll keep an eye out for toys. But they don't, usually they get big bulky plastic toys. They don't have the figures there. Sometimes I might see a little car. Might come into some army tanks down the line. Once I start a toy collection, but you probably won't notice, because it still resembles a movie room. My snacks need to be looking good. I got rid of some chips because they were too spicy. They have those Indian chips now, so I had to get rid of a couple bags. Tried it, I did not like it. So I lost a couple bags this week on chips, but I'll buy cookies again. All that good stuff will come. Posters, I might change them a little bit down the line as well. Maybe put some autographs on one side, put some wrestling or something. For now, they're going to stay like they are. They're reprints of movie posters and all the old horror movies that you could think of, the typical blockbuster genre for them. You got your Friday 13th, you got your Halloween, you got your Nightmare on Elm Street, you got your Superman, you got your Hellraiser as well, Omen, Jaws. And then there's more horror in this middle area here. You got Saw, and I think Hellraiser is over here. Yeah, Hellraiser is over here. Return of the Living Dead, Exorcist, and those are the big movie industry has when it comes to horror, and most of those on VHS are very expensive now, so I have them on DVD. Most of the stuff I have on VHS is more comedy and western, a little bit horror, but I do have some unique pieces like Universal Monsters, Godzilla, Universal Monsters. I don't even really remember Blockbuster having them until they were released on DVD, like the newer version of Godzilla, newer version of King Kong. When it came out on DVD, that's when I remember these But I don't really recall Blockbuster ever having them on VHS, so it must have been something more towards the smaller mom and pop video stores. And my Blockbuster never really carried VHS either, so this is more towards the smaller video stores memory. But I do want to get into toys more, so but once in a while over the summer I'll come into a game, I'll come into a CD, maybe a new release movie. But I'll pick and choose at least 4 or 5 figures throughout the summer and winter. Once in a while I'll come into a game. As long as I have my connection, I could get something good. If not, I'm going to have to rely on donation stores for a while. If I don't have the internet, then it's really hard. You got to rely on donation stores. And they don't carry as much anymore. They don't carry good games anymore. Atari was part of me since high school. It's mostly stuff like Wii, which I don't really care about. Sometimes I might see an Xbox game there. Records as well, and got Sony PS2 in the bottom there, a little bit more records. And older records, country records, all the Dolly Parton stuff I have on the CD. Anytime I could come back into music, look for something for Dolly, that I don't have on the CD yet. Some stuff you'll never find anymore, or it's getting pretty expensive for her early albums, so you gotta try to get them when you can. Even if it's a remake, like a newer version, because most of her stuff was made on record. And then I come into Pearl Jam, because I really like collecting on Pearl Jam, especially the Pearl Jam early live stuff, which you don't really see anymore around anymore, as well, getting harder to find. And a lot of these are harder to come by as well. And then the Pearl Jam singles. So all those three here, a couple of shelves of just Pearl Jam. Been a fan of Pearl Jam since high school. So I don't have very many of the new ones that they started making. I still rely on the old ones. But I do have a couple of the newer ones in here as well. Mixed in, because they don't have the pictures on them. Then the paper one, you know that's going to be a newer version. So all these are very hard to come by. These are like the paper one right here. So new stuff that people don't know. Now these ones, not too many people even know about them. So anytime I can find an old one, I'll try to pick one up. So the old ones are very hard to come by. And not too many people that are into Pearl Jam now don't even know about these old albums, live albums. Sometimes they're good quality, sometimes they're not, but they hold songs that they don't sing anymore, and that's why I like those old ones. And then I'll come into other bands, like whoever comes out with a new album, like Ozzy, Shania Twain, Dolly came out with Rockstar, so I'll make sure I try to grab those. And then I'll come back into an Atari game once in a while, change out some ones that I have that are in bad condition, or some that are completely missing side labels. Because sometimes Atari is known for bad condition. Cartridges, this one doesn't have anything on the side. And I like to keep them in nice condition when I can. Sometimes you can get a good deal on like a torn one if you don't mind having one or two. Bad ones, as long as the front's looking very nice. I don't mind getting something that's a little bit torn. But Atari is known to have a lot of bad torn labels. And Atari was my first system I ever grew up with. Never really had a Nintendo back then. Cousins had it and stuff like that. But I never really had my own to play back then. So it was mostly Atari that I grew up with. But sometimes Atari is good, sometimes it's bad. So not all the games for Atari are good. Most of the best stuff is like Pac-Man. Then got a few high-end games in here, but we'll see how things go for the rest of this summer. Hopefully a few additions will come for toys, wrestling, especially this summer. And yeah, I could set up some random toys from certain. I'm not going to go into a whole toy line, but pick out one or two toys out of a certain toy line, like He-Man, Doctor Who. Maybe get something there. Maybe get something more for Ghostbusters. I don't have anything on Ghostbusters yet, so that might come next year. Because I want to start wrestling this year, and It'll look nice when I do a complete room tour next year. There'll be a few more toys in here. So as long as my food and snacks are good, I can always add in a little toy or come into a game or rely on some kind of new movie that comes out. So that's what mostly my area has now is new releases with Walmart and all that, and sometimes cartoon might come in the donation stores. So it's pretty much all you can find now, or some kind of older movies you never heard of. But most of these older horror movies are very hard to come by now, so very happy to have so many of them, and TV shows as well. All the big TV shows, at least I have started on most of them. And whenever I could add to ones I just have started on, some of these individuals I've been working on, like Merlin, they come into these Sherlock. There's a few seasons there. Roseanne's another one over here. I got a few seasons. Melrose Place, I got a few seasons. So as long as I got a few seasons on the show, I should be okay. Try adding a couple things here and there without really overspending. There's a collection, whether it's media, you could overspend it very easy. Because you have all those people that will collect on, 4K is so much better now. You have to go into 4K. Don't collect on DVD. You have to collect on steel books or whatever format they want to collect on because they think it's more superior to DVD. You're paying more for the same shit movie, just a different quality. So don't tell me that it's better than your typical blockbuster movie. And everything I collect in here is typical blockbuster. You could also go into different genre forms like Synapse in Your Own, Severance Arrow, those kind of movies that we've never heard of, or Chinese movies, karate movies. So there's a whole bunch of shit you could go into, and you'll never ever have everything. So it's time for me to cut back a little bit on movies and rely on toys a little bit now. Try to boost those over the next couple of years. Maybe come into a game from time to time. Thanks for watching. So all the shelving in here is pretty much made by myself. It's all complete in here. Unless if I decide to put a better backing on some of these, I could do that. Or I could rebuild a shelf or something. But for now, this is the setup and this is the look and the displays on top might change from time to time. More toys might come in from time to time. I rely on toys a little bit and try to add some more toys. And that's going to be the goal over the next couple of years and or next 2, 3, 4 years. There'd be a good amount of toys in here. So even if you're working on a small budget, if you plan things out carefully, toys can be more expensive than movies. So gotta watch out for shipping as well. So hopefully get some coming in this year and next year and get some stuff I really want to have. Thanks for watching. So I removed all the dolls that were up here, threw them out. And later on, if I get more into toys, I could change up that back area. Maybe put more toys here on top. But that's going to be the plan, to put the toys, little toy figures up on top on display once I get more into toy collecting. Because I normally don't find them in my area. Only things I find are kind of little cards and stuff that I could pick up, or big bulky plastic stuff, which I don't care about. Funko Puffs and all that I'm not going to go into, so rely on a few vintage toys and that'll get me by. Thanks for watching.